Good morning. This is Dirk, the Realtor. At It's kind of bright. Excuse my squinting. But a day in the life of a Realtor. Um, Today is early January. I'm actually gonna eventually flip this so that you don't have to look at my mug this whole time. That you actually will be able to see the property that I'm visiting today. That I happen to be visiting. Here, I'll flip this as we go in. All right, this is the property here. This is sort of initial part of the outside. I'm not going to give the address, but I sort of will see the walkthrough. I will say it's in Quakertown. Yes, I licensed in Pennsylvania and Jersey, and I will travel. And kind of that's partly what I wanted to talk about that kind of relates to travel, but also relates to just the sort of the theme for today will be perseverance. Now, excuse my wandering. I'm going to kind of be walking around as I talk, not really describing the house yet, but just sort of telling my story for today. Perseverance kind of relates to the actual family that I am going to be showing this house to very shortly. They're likely on their way. It's another thing. A realtor, try to come early, at least most of the time, because some of the time you won't be early, and it just balances it out. I'll put it that way. This is an in-law suite, which is, again, kind of relates to, and you'll see why, the perseverance part of what I wanted to kind of talk about a little today. A little bit about the family, without naming and too much information about the family. This is a family that is a blended family, to say the least, and became even more blended after the holidays, or technically right before the holidays. This family consists of a mother, father, husband, wife, two children, one special needs child, so two in total, and the mother-in-law, the mother of the mother, if that makes sense, that will be staying with them. Now, sort of connecting to that theme of perseverance and why we're looking at houses that have in-law suites and en suites and that sort of thing is obvious because of the mother-in-law that she'll be staying with them. I guess this is the initial living room. They've got several. It's kind of weird the way this is set up, but yeah, so she'll be staying with them. And so let me sort of swing back, at least to one of the spaces. This is where she'd be staying. Likely. Now, I'm going to continue on my story about perseverance. I have showed them tons of houses everywhere from Lower Macungie to near the Poconos, near Lancaster County, I'm in Quakertown now, and we're quite a bit. Not to say that we haven't been under agreement. We've been under agreement twice and terminated for pretty good reasons. This is the main kitchen in there. Interesting slider window. But we've been looking for a bit. This house actually is about 300,000 higher than what they were previously looking at. And the reason is because their needs actually have changed, even from that blendedness to the current situation of where now the husband, the father's father, will be staying with them also, due to his mother passing away. Of course, I gave my condolences, but the mother passing away, and the father will be selling the home where he is to move in with them. Dated. Can you say dated? To move in with them. And so their needs have changed. Their budgets changed, their needs have changed. And that is the perseverance part of it, is that if, which some people would say, like, geez, how many houses are you going to show them before you, tell them, like, look, I can't work with you anymore. It's like a waste of time. You do not do that. Some people will tell you to do that, but you do not do, in my experience, you do not do that. I'm going to go down here. This looks pretty short here, but, whoa. Because if I had, in which we're showing like 5 or 6 homes today, they're likely to put an offer in on something today. And if I would have sort of given up on this client, boy, that's not good, then I would not have basically been able to continue on with the pricing that they are at now, if that makes sense. So don't let any other agents sort of tell you, unless you really feel that you're through and it's, mitigating circumstances, that they just are getting on your nerves, various reasons, and they don't seem like they're buying. But if they seem earnest, don't give up on them. Don't give up on them. And sort of another example of that is, I was at one of my closings and one of my mentees asked to visit to come to the closing. She hadn't done a closing. She's kind of new, but she hasn't come to a closing. And, okay, did we go that way? Yes, we did. And so she went, and afterwards, went really pretty smooth. The other agent had COVID, so he didn't show. Thank goodness. But I kind of took, it's not much. Once you get to the table as an agent, it's not much to do, except to put out any fires that might happen. Hopefully they don't. Some lights here. And so I was telling my mentee, I said, don't let any agent fool you and tell you that overnight they became a multi-million-dollar seller and all of their clients buy $800 to $1.5 million homes. No, unless they live in an area that's the only houses that are around, is that basically you grow with your clients. That's the bottom line. You grow with your clients. Your clients can afford more. You sell them more. Some interesting pieces that you always find in a house. When they sell, you sell with them, because reason I'm saying that is because the example was the house that we closed on, is that I was selling it for a client that actually I had the privilege to sell to about 6 years ago. He made like $100,000 on the sale, and he was extremely happy. Of course, who wouldn't be? But sort of he reminded me of the journey and to take another photo, because he still had the photo of when he first purchased it. And by the way, I'm going to stop saying but also that sort of went to the theme that I'm talking about now of perseverance, because again, we stuck with them and they stuck with us, and you treat your client well, they'll hang with you, and you will get that repeat client. Oh, dual. That'd be interesting. That makes for interesting conversation. So that again, perseverance is, if I'm going to sort of say anything and state something as the theme would be perseverance. Perseverance, perseverance, perseverance. Okay, look for the next episode. I may sort of tally with this one episode a couple other homes or a couple other things that I'll be doing, because I will have to be heading to Jersey. Again, of another repeat client. I have to stop saying I'm sorry. Let me flip this and I will stop saying so much. Shout out to my good friend Andre, who told me he watched one of my videos before, and he told me, he said, "You sounds great, but you have to stop saying So let me flip it again. I think it's one of those space savers that when you're trying to think of what you're thinking about. But anyway, I'll have to go to Jersey to get a locksmith to unlock. I'm taking these steps here really slow to unlock their rental that their renter left. They weren't sure if the renter left, but the renter left. We find out from the lawyer the renter left to prep it to sell. And so maybe I'll sort of take a video of us unlocking and sort of going through changing the locks and all that sort of thing. But again, this is Dirk the Realtor and a day in the life. And again, a happy, healthy, and productive 2022.